Okay, so this time we've got a slightly different equation. 3x squared minus 72 equals 0. Okay, so we're going to do it using that square root property that we talked about in the previous video and in this section. So let's move the negative 72 across, and that gives you 3x squared is equal to 72. Alright, we want to get the x squared on its own, so we have to get rid of the 3, and the easiest way to do that is to divide both sides by 3. And remember, the basic tenet of solving equations, whatever you do to one side of an equation you do to the other never actually goes away. So here the 3's will cancel, and you have x squared is equal to 72. If you divide 72 by 3, 3 goes into 7 twice and 1 left over. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So x squared is equal to 24. And then the square root property. Remember the square root property that we introduced in the last video? We're going to take the square roots of both sides, and we're going to have plus or minus the square root on the right hand side. Okay? So what happens here is we're going to take the square root of x squared, and we're going to say that that's equal to plus or minus the square root of 24. And the square root and the square on the x, they'll just both cancel out. Square root and square cancel out, that's just x is equal to plus or minus. Now we don't know what the square root of 24 is, and not knowing what it is, we just leave it as the square root of 24. Okay? So x equals 24, x equals the square root of 24, and x equals negative square root of 24 are both correct solutions. Okay. Now there is one thing that, depending on when you're looking at this, if you're looking at it towards the end of the school year, then we'll already have done at that point simplification of square roots. So you could break this down a little bit more. I'm doing this in February, and we haven't covered simplification of square roots yet, so if you're looking at it right now and it's close to February, don't worry too much about this next piece. But plus or minus square root of 24. The square root of 24. 24 has factors 4 times 6. Okay, so you can write 24 as 4 times 6. And then you can split up those square roots. The square root of 4 times the square root of 6. So x is equal to plus or minus 2 times the square root of 6. There's another way of writing your answer. Sorry about that last little bit there. It's gone a bit messy on me. Okay. So x equals plus or minus root 24 is fine. And x equals plus or minus 2 root 6 is the same answer written in a slightly different way. And if you don't understand the last little bit that we did to get the plus or minus 2 root 6, don't worry about it. Okay, thanks for watching.